Hey everybody, it's Ron from Ron's Basement. Thank you for joining me today. I have a video for you about the 5 reasons that I choose to hold gold mining stocks and silver mining stocks. But I always say gold mining stocks, but when I say that, you can kind of always lump in that I'm talking about silver as well. I'm actually a big fan of silver. But without much further ado, this is just my list, some ideas that I had, 5 ideas. I'm not saying they're the 5 best, but 5 ideas, 5 reasons why I hold gold mining stocks. Number one, the price of gold is $1,800 per ounce. That's a high gold price. I know it's not an all time high. I know it's not, uh, definitely not bubble territory, but it's a high gold price. And when you compare that, look back 5 years ago, uh, 3 years ago, gold mining companies are generally making very good money right now, either from a net income perspective or a cash flow perspective. No matter how you slice it or dice it, $1,800 gold is a good gold price. I think we all want it to be higher, right? I mean, it got up to 1950 a few weeks ago. It got up to above 2000 last summer after I'd sold out of my gold mining stocks, but it did get up to 2000. But nonetheless, $1,800 gold is a good gold price. Number two, the value ratios on the mining stocks. When you compare the value proposition of a gold mining stock in general to the value proposition of a technology stock and look at any ratio, any like metric that you can use, price to sales, um, the market cap of the company versus the net tangible assets. There's a whole host of them. I just read an article yesterday that compared several of these rates. I mean, gold mining stocks are a great value proposition right now. They could go lower, as we all know, but they do represent a great value proposition. I think, well, quickly, I'll just say this: gold mining companies have been very conservative over the last, I'd say, 10 years. 2011, when gold got up to over $2,000 per ounce, there was a lot of M&A, a lot of crazy financings going on in the gold mining sector, and that's not the case this time around. Sure, there was at one point last summer there was a lot more money flowing into the sector, but nothing got crazy. There were no crazy mergers and acquisitions. These companies are, how do I say it, generally undervalued right now. Unless gold is going to go to $1,200 an ounce or $1,500 an ounce, which it could, uh, but if it doesn't, or if it goes higher, which it could, these companies will represent even a greater value proposition. I'm going to argue, I'll make this point number three. I'm going to argue that in some ways, the gold mining sector has already corrected. I was looking earlier at the GDXJ, the Junior Gold Mining Stock Index, and from its 52-week high, so last summer to where it is now, it's down almost 30%, or actually a little more than 30%. So a lot of these companies, and I mean, Equinox, Fortuna Silver, just as 2 examples, 2 companies that are making cash flow, and their stock prices have been significantly decreased over the last year. And at this point, I mean, can they go lower? Yes, but they just represent such an awesome value proposition. All right, number 3.3. Everything's screwed up. Everything is screwed up. Money printing, the national debt, people not wanting to go to work. Uh, it's a lot of, how do I say this? I think a lot of analysts try to peg like, oh, the value of gold is inversely related to the US dollar, or the value of gold is, and I do think it is affected by real interest rates. Um, But just in general, everything's kind of screwed up. And I don't want to be negative, but that's just kind of the reality of the situation we're in. When you briefly look at the deficits that our government runs and the debt that our government has and the money printing that's going on and the social issues that are going on and geopolitical issues that are going on, things are screwed up. Which leads me to number 4. Things are happening much quicker. Now, this is just my opinion, my big head kind of observing this, but it feels to me like events are happening quicker. I'm going to try to put that another way or in other words. I think that because things are so screwed up, right? Like, all this artificial all these artificial inputs or artificial influences on our economy and all this debt and all the aforementioned problems that we had, I think as they continue to brew up and come to more of a head, it makes events unfold more quickly. Like they may need to do more QE even more quickly than they did last time, if that makes sense. And again, that's just my kind of general crystal ball hypothesizing about the overall condition of the world, which would be good for the price of gold. I'd still say, people still believe that gold is a good store of value. And number 5. Oh, I already said number 5. So number 5 was the fact that in a lot of ways, gold mining stocks have already corrected. You'd think that with the GDXJ down almost 30%, 35% from last summer, you'd think that the price of gold had dropped from 2,000 down to 1,500, but it hasn't. So, just my thoughts. We all know that anything can happen, right? Some things that worry me are obviously an overall general market correction and how that might influence the price of gold. Although I made another video in this subject, and really, I don't know. I know I'm going against what everybody says, and a lot of people who are more credentialed and more experienced than I am, but I just have this feeling that if the market does correct, that we aren't going to see this big correction in gold and gold miners. That I'm just in my gut, I can feel like if the S&P drops 25%, that the price of gold's not going to drop 20%. That the price of gold might actually immediately go up, which is what it used to do way back when gold was was more of an inverse. Had more of an inverse relationship with the overall markets. Thanks for watching. Like I said, just my thoughts. Don't make any financial decisions based upon what you hear coming out of my mouth. I appreciate you watching. If you have any ideas or any thoughts, feel free to share them below. And if you like me or want to subscribe to me, that would be great too. Thanks for watching and have a great day.